Welcome back, everybody. It is February 2026. I am trying something different out with my microphone, which is why it looks like I have a fuzzy, tiny little creature on my chest right now. With everything that has been going on in the world, I have not really been feeling much like filming or talking about books or getting outside, which it is winter here, so I mean, it's not much to do for prolonged periods of time outside anyway. Although if we're just being honest, it's winter in Texas, which means it's basically fall. If we're just being 1,000% honest, I think we've had a really deep freeze and kind of a ice storm here so far, but it went by pretty quickly, and I don't know if we're going to have another one before winter is over and done with. So we shall see. But I did figure that this would be a good opportunity to catch you guys up on what I have been reading, because just because I haven't been feeling like talking about any of the books or vlogging at all, I have actually still been consistently reading, which is awesome, because at the end of 2025, I was in a really bad reading slump. I didn't feel like reading at all. And for some reason, with the new year, my love of reading has kind of like just gone full blast again. So I want to talk to you guys about some of the books that I've already finished, and then some of the books that I'm planning on reading the rest of this month, and one book that I'm currently reading that is just on par with Braiding Sweetgrass. So let's get into it. I have my little reading journal in front of me so I can remember exactly what I have read. I think we talked about Winterween in the last vlog, so I won't go over any of that again. Since Winterween, I have read 2 monster romance books on Kindle Unlimited for Spicy Cats' Monster Romance Reading Challenge for the year, and I'm really excited about it. So the first one, as y'all probably already remember, was Merman, and I read the first 2 books out of the Deep Tides series. If I can find a picture, I'll put it up here, of the first book. Those books are awesome. I fucking love them. I do plan on reading the next 2 books in that series. I just haven't picked it back up yet. And then this month, for February, the topic was something along the lines of Aliens Welcome, or something along those lines. The bare bones of the topic is that it needs to take place on an alien planet, and for hard mode it needs to have some kind of like biological factor that has to be used in some way in order to survive on the planet. So of course I went with the easy opt-out on that, and I read 2 more in the Ice Planet Barbarian series. So the first one I read was Barbarian's Touch, and that is the book that has Leela and Roken. And Leela is the one who she's unable to hear. She had, when she was on Earth, she had one of those, cochlear implants done, but when she was abducted by the evil aliens, they had removed that from her. So when she wakes up on this new planet surrounded by both humans and aliens, she can't hear or understand anyone. Thankfully, she is there with her sister, and her sister knows sign language, so her sister is able to help her communicate and things like that. But of course, as all of these books end up, Lila, I'm not entirely sure how it's supposed to be, but she ends up separated with Roken, who ends up being her mate. They end up separated for a while, and they end up going on some pretty cool little adventures together. And it's a really cool story for her character, because she goes from being this very timid, vulnerable, almost like a victimized type character, and then by the end she's like pretty confident in herself. She knows what to do. She's taking care of her man, who may or may not end up injured at one point. But yeah, so this book was all about Leela and Roken, and then the next book was Barbarian's Taming, and that one has my heart because it has Maddie and Hassan. And Hassan fucked up majorly in Barbarian's Touch, because he thought that if he just grabbed one of these new human females and took them away for a little bit, that he could somehow convince them or convince the little like parasite thing that lives inside of them to resonate. And for these characters, if they resonate, it means that they are basically fated mates. They're supposed to be together, all that good stuff. So he was hoping to force resonance. And I know that sounds a little bit assaulty, but it's not like that. He's actually super sweet. He was just trying to basically woo her without any other competition around. And it did not work. It did not work. Leela and Hassan, very much not compatible, and he found that out the hard way. So Maddie is Leela's sister, and Maddie has a sailor mouth. She has some of the most raunchy humor that I have ever read, and I love her character so much. And she ends up kind of taking pity on Hassan because he does get sort of exiled from the tribe for stealing Leela in the prior book. And I don't know, they kind of hit it off really well. They don't immediately resonate, of course. They end up being what they call pleasure mates. So they're just kind of like, for lack of a term, fuck buddies at first. And it kind of hurts Hassan because he is so in love with the idea of love. He wants to resonate so bad. He wants to have a family. He wants to have like his mate. You know what I'm saying? And Maddie's over here like, I just want to have a good time. I just need some of these itches scratched. You know what I mean? But as they kind of work together, and honestly, in Barbarian's Taming, a tragedy happens where I won't give anything away. I won't give anything away, but a tragedy does happen that kind of leaves the entire tribe stranded. And Hassan actually shines in that moment because he does act very heroic. And then he and Maddie, since they are one of the few individuals who are not tied down with mates, wounded people that they're trying to take care of, or children, they are sent on a journey to try to find different areas that they have left behind supplies and stuff like that, and to bring all of those supplies back to the tribe, who is now basically left homeless. So they do that, and just throughout the course of their time together, they do end up resonating because they finally actually fall for each other. It becomes more than just sex. So we love that. And I really love those two together. I really love them together so much. So as far as monster romance, that is what I have read for this month's reading challenge. The current book that I am reading is, I shit you not, very life-changing. I say that. So when I say a book is life-changing, I mean it is for me, of course. It's eye-opening. It is heartfelt. I don't even know what I'm trying to say right now. When I read a book like Braiding Sweetgrass last month, it alters my worldview. And in a good way, in a positive way, because let's be honest, my worldview most of the time is so dark and pessimistic and just like, why the fuck are we even bothering to exist? So when reading books like Braiding Sweetgrass and this one that I'm currently reading, it helps my mood. It helps me kind of take a step back from pessimism, depression, and things like that, and really start to feel kind of revitalized. I think I said this in the last vlog about Braiding Sweetgrass, but it's like it's soul soothing. It makes me feel comforted. Anyway, that book is Something in the Woods Loves You by Jared K. Anderson. This is the cover. It's a beautiful cover. I'm about a little over halfway through at this point. I've been highlighting the shit out of this book, just like I did with Braiding Sweetgrass, because there's just so many amazing quotes and amazing takeaway paragraphs from this book. I can't even fully describe to you what it's about. So Jared K. Anderson is obviously an author, and this book is basically, in a lot of ways, his memoir, if that makes sense, but it's definitely not all about him at all. He does not make this book all about him, but as you journey with him through different seasons and different experiences that he's had with nature and the natural world, you're also journeying beside him through his mental health treatment, if that makes sense. So like the book starts in winter, it also starts where he's at one of the lowest points in his life that he's ever been. And then we kind of escalate into spring, where we're starting to seek help. And it's weird because, like, he weaves in his journey from a mental health perspective, but also from a very naturalist perspective as well, because each one of his chapters is named after either a plant or an animal or something like that. And each one of these plants or animals he has had personal experiences with or stories told to him about, and they just link so easily with every step that he had to take on his journey, from dealing with suicidal thoughts, dealing with like severe depression, but also feeling like there's no reason for me to actually be dealing with this, so like I'm just gonna not seek help. He also gives a very beautiful inside look to what men go through. And this isn't like a genderized, polarized book at all, because a lot of what he goes through, men and women both go through. But there are a couple of chapters that focus in on like toxic masculinity and how that affected his ability to really reach out for help, and why it prevented him from feeling like he could or should reach out for help for so long. And those chapters are really enlightening to me as a mother of a son, because I want to make sure that as Vincent grows up and, you know, he becomes his own person, that he always knows it's okay to talk about these things. It's okay to have these thoughts. You don't have to feel like you have to close yourself off and just give the world the silent treatment in order to be strong. I want him to know that having emotions is just part of the human experience. You don't have to turn them off or sweep them under the rug. You don't have to do that. But anyway, long story short, this book is amazing. It is definitely on par with Braiding Sweetgrass. I am in love with it. I will continue to talk about it probably as I finish reading it. As of right now, it is an easy 5-star read. And it's also one of those, just like Braiding Sweetgrass, that I'll reread many times for sure. Since we're in the month of love and romance and Valentine's Day, I wanted to pick a couple of books that kind of had some level of romance, but that also weren't just like boring. So this book I've actually had on my shelves for a little while, and I've read another book by this author that I thought was really cute. I don't know if I've ever talked about the other book on this channel before, but so cute. Loved the concepts. But anyway, this book is called Love and Other Conspiracies by Mallory Marlowe. Look how cute these covers are. All of her books have really cute covers like this. But yeah, this one sounded really cute. So it's basically about this girl who is trying to link up with this dude, not for romantic purposes, but to create like a docu-series or podcast or something like that about Bigfoot. This looks so cute. So I'm probably going to start this today. And then the other day, I think I might have mentioned this on the last vlog, I sat down and I felt like watching a movie. I felt like watching a movie, and I needed it to not be Twilight, because I have rewatched Twilight way too many times over the past couple of months. And I was on Netflix, and ironically, the Mortal Instruments movie, City of Bones, was on Netflix. And I have that book. I've picked up that book at a used bookstore not that long ago, because I was seeing this resurgence of all these different booktubers talking about this series and this author, and just ranting and raving and saying all these really good things about this series. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's give it a shot. Let me watch this movie and just see what I'm in for. And the ideas and the concepts of the movie of the story sound really good, and I know without a shadow of a doubt that the book will be 20 times better. The movie was kind of shit. It's kind of like the first Twilight movie, let's be real. They're just kind of shitty, but they have those 2000s nostalgia vibes. And even though the movie was way too rushed, I really enjoyed the characters that they had, or the casting that they had for the characters. And the movie was visually really interesting. And I kind of had wished maybe they would have kept going with it, but I think they just kind of trashed the project. But anyway, I am planning on picking up and reading City of Bones after I read Love and Other Conspiracies, because I really don't like reading more than 2 books at a time, and those 2 books really cannot have similar shit going on in them at all, because then I just get myself confused. Anyway, this is probably the longest intro to a vlog I have ever done, but welcome. Hope you enjoy. If you feel up to commenting what you're reading and what you've been doing the past month, let me know. Give it a like, subscribe if you want to. I hope we're all doing okay, because I feel like okay is as well as any of us can be expected to do right now. But yeah, I'll check in with you guys later. Okay, this is gonna be like what, the second update to this vlog that I've done all month long, and it is genuinely the 22nd. I've been doing really horrible about vlogging this month, and I think part of that is just because work has gotten me so down and like a little bit depressed. And it's not like anything serious or whatnot, but it's just kind of put me in a mood where I don't feel like talking. I don't feel like talking, but I have still been reading. So I do have a reading update for you guys. I know at the beginning of this vlog I had mentioned having like some cozier craft-like footage. I didn't really get any footage of me doing the actual crafts, but at the beginning of this month I did crochet a bunch of tiny little hearts for Valentine's Day. And I kind of created my own little wreath for my office at work. I don't know if I've actually gotten any video footage of this or of the wreath. I didn't make the actual wreath piece. I bought this very like plain heart-shaped wreath from Michael's, I want to say it was. And then I just kind of wrapped it with a little bit of like fuzzy pink yarn and then attached my little crocheted hearts to it. So, yeah. A lot has been going on this month, so I don't really know even where to begin, and I honestly don't remember where I left off because the very beginning of this vlog was at the very beginning of the month, and it's been so long, and I don't even know if I have any anyway, this month has been pure chaos. As a side note, if there are any parents of small children or who have raised small children, can you give me some advice on how to get my 2-year-old son to stop banging his head at night? He doesn't do it to the point of like actually hurting himself or anything, but the pediatrician said it was like a soothing behavior to like either lull himself to sleep or to fight sleep and try to stay awake longer. I'm not entirely sure, but I was hoping that by now he would have grown out from this, and he has not. Anyway, back to the books. So at the beginning of this month, I'm pretty sure I was ranting and raving about Something in the Woods Loves You by Jared K. Anderson, and I am still ranting and raving about this book. This book is golden. This book needs to be read by everyone. I'm not exaggerating. Like, I never, okay, I won't say never, because I'm pretty sure I said with Braiding Sweetgrass, everyone should read it. I don't know what it is about this particular year, but I have been starting off this year with some very insightful, healing books that involve nature. I'm not sure what it is, but I read Braiding Sweetgrass, and then I read this book this month, and they have both just been like very eye-opening and emotional, and they've kind of helped me a little bit as far as like kind of feeling like I'm healing, but I don't even know how to conclude my thoughts on this book. I just need to tell you that this book should be read by everyone. If you are a man, if you are a parent, if you are someone who has suffered with long-term depression, someone who has felt the need to hide that depression, someone who has struggled really with anything like addiction, mental illness, anything at all. If you are someone who loves nature, I mean, hell, if you're just a human fucking being, okay? If you're a human being, you need to read this book. It soothed my soul. I know I've said that a couple of times on video, but like I have no other description for it. It literally felt like a soothing balm to my soul when I was reading this book. So I cannot recommend this book enough. 5 out of 5 all day long. Anyway, because this has been the month of love, I thought I would read a cheesy little rom-com that I bought a while back. I accidentally read the second book in this little like universe first, but they are standalones, so you don't have to read them in any particular order. But this is called Love and Other Conspiracies by Mallory Marlowe. Look at that adorable cover. Look at that adorable cover. Can we just say that that's adorable? Anyway, I bought this along with Mallory Marlowe's other book. What's it called? Love at First Sighting. Read that one. Loved that one as well. I really loved this book. But back when I first bought these books, I mean, given the covers and stuff have things like aliens, UFOs, and Bigfoot on the cover, I thought there was going to be a larger supernatural / paranormal aspect to these books. And in reality, there's really just not. Like, they talk about it a lot, don't get me wrong. They talk about it a lot. Like with this one, Hallie and Hayden are our two characters here. Hallie is the female character, Hayden is the male character. Hayden is like a cryptozoologist type nerdy boy who runs his own little podcast about conspiracies and weird paranormal shit, right? Hallie is somebody who works for like this production company or some such shit, and she is trying to help him turn his podcast into a web series. Anyway, they turn into this adorable, cute couple, and I have no complaints about the banter, the humor, or the like lovey-dovey shenanigans that go on in this book. I think it's adorable. I think it's really cute. I like how Mallory Marlowe writes male characters that are not overbearingly alpha, He-Man, like toxic masculinity. You know, she writes male characters that are realistic, that also have problems, but aren't just like, let me just shove everything under the rug and turn my emotions off and just be, you know, a man. I'm gonna be a man. I really like that her male characters are more approachable. They are more in touch with their feelings. They're not afraid to necessarily cry about certain shit when they feel things, and really appreciate that. Anyway, I think I give this book like a 3 out of 5 stars, maybe a little bit higher. I love the romance. You know, it's good. It's just, it felt like the entire book was nothing but relationship building, and I wanted a little bit more to the plot. So I kind of got a little bit bored with it, but it was still really cute. Still very cute, and it's not super long, so it didn't feel like it went on forever. It just felt like there was a little bit missing to the plot. But anyway, I had a good time with this. I recently started reading City of Bones, which is the first book in the Mortal Instruments series. So I never in a million years thought that I would be reading this series, but about a year or two ago, I was watching some of my favorite booktuber ladies, and it seemed like for some reason, all of them were rereading either the Mortal Instruments series or the Infernal Devices series, which I think all happen in the same universe. I think they're all within the Shadowhunters realm, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, these are like some really long-running series by Cassandra Clare. And they were raving about them. They were ranting about them. And then I happened to see this book in a half-price bookstore around the same time. And I bought it on a whim. And then it sat on my shelf forever because I was like, do I really feel committed to starting such a long series if I end up loving this shit? And I don't know. I just felt like it was time. I'm on page 99. This is kind of a big boy, so I'm probably going to be reading this one for a hot minute. And then today, on a whim, me and my husband were out at Walmart, and I saw this book, and I was just like, can I have that, though? It just looked really cute, and I don't know if it's going to actually be cute or if it's going to be a big fat disappointment, but I picked up this little ditty. The cover's really cute. A killer kind of romance. A love story to die for. So basically the premise is that Scarlett Moore is a narrator for a gritty crime fiction podcast. And then somewhere along the line, someone starts reenacting the chilling crimes that she describes on air. So she ends up like launching her own investigation into what the fuck is going on, because it's like, what the hell? And then apparently Raphael Gray is a man who she knew like 5 years ago or whatnot, and he suddenly like pops back up. So then it becomes like is this a second chance romance situation, or is this man here to kill me? Like, is he killing a bunch of people? We don't know. So this could turn into a dark romance. I mean, it's already kind of a dark romance, but we'll see. It sounds really cute, so probably going to end up reading that soon. I'm not entirely sure, but I've gotten into the habit of like really wanting to finish the book that I'm reading before starting another one. At the end of last year, I was reading like 2 or 3 different books all at once, and it was working okay for me, but I noticed that I was getting kind of burnt out of reading in general, so I'm kind of enjoying just like taking it back to the basics with reading and just reading one thing at a time, focusing on that, and then moving forward. But yeah, that's pretty much it for my reading updates. As far as life updates, my son just got his first haircut ever the other day. It was adorable. I ended up paying for a little like first haircut package, first haircut package that comes with a little certificate and a picture that they take of him at the end and a lock of hair. So cute. I'm gonna end up putting that in my freaking vault somewhere so that I have it always and forever. But he was miserable the entire time. He cried the entire time. He was not having it, but it needed to be done. It did. And the hairstylist who was cutting his hair was so good with him. She was perfect. And she ended up, helping him play and calming down afterwards so that she could still get a really cute picture of him. So it all ended up pretty well. And then me and my husband have recently, I know I have some B-roll in here somewhere. We recently become obsessed with the League of Legends Riftbound card game. That's been happening. It's really funny too because I used to play Magic the Gathering a lot and he's always played Pokemon. And so now we're starting to learn this new card game, something that we're both pretty enjoying for the most part, so that we can play it together because he refuses to play Magic and I refuse to play Pokemon. So this is a good compromise, I feel. What was really interesting though was the other day, this was a week or two ago, I can't remember how long ago it was, he bought us two battle decks, pre-made, ready to go battle decks a couple of weeks ago. And then, the obsession began. If you have ever been into card games, you know full well the addiction of buying booster packs and stuff just to see what you get. Anyway, we went to this local card game store and we ended up getting some packs. And this man opens this pack in our car. We were just opening them in the car and looking at him. He ends up pulling out this one card. Don't ask me which one it was because I've already forgotten. That we looked up online and it's worth close to $1,000. And I'm just sitting here the luck that some people have. It couldn't have been me. I'll tell you that much. I still haven't gotten around to watching Predator Badlands. I did buy it on DVD the other day, and I'm going to watch it. It's happening. It's gonna happen. Just, I haven't really been feeling in the mood of sitting down and watching a full-length movie. And unfortunately, that movie's 2 hours long, and I don't have the energy by the end of the day to actually sit down and watch that. But anyway, that's literally all I got as far as updating. Haven't been doing a whole lot this month, and yet this month has flown by and it has felt so busy. Next month I have to prepare for little man's 2nd birthday. And then I'm also taking a week off from work for vacation, which just so happens to be the same week as his birthday. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to have vacation. I'm excited to get the fuck away from my job for a little bit. But yeah, I'm going to sit here and read for a little bit, and I will check back in with y'all, hopefully with a wrap up to this month, because even though this month's vlog is going to be super short, it is what it is, it is what it is. So, hope you guys are reading some interesting things. Be sure to comment down below at some point what y'all are reading, because I like to know what everybody's reading. Anyway, peace out for now. Hello, welcome back. It has been a hot fucking minute since I have updated this vlog, and we're now pretty much in the middle of March. So, beginning of the year, my goals have already been exploded in front of my face, but you know what? That's kind of typical, and we're just going to keep rolling with the punches. We're just going to call this vlog a combination February and March combo. And just call it a day, because a lot happened in February, and I don't know about you guys, but February I looked left and the month was gone. So I didn't get a whole lot of content in February, so this vlog may end up being kind of short. And I'm not entirely sure where I left off. So I'm going to consult my reading journal to just kind of do a quick recap with you guys, because I'm not entirely sure where I left off with y'all. I know we had talked about Something in the Woods Loves You by Jared K. Anderson. Definitely in the running for best book read of this year. I know it's really early, but that and Braiding Sweetgrass are definitely my top 2 books for this year so far. So I know we talked about that. I was reading Love and Other Conspiracies by Mallory Marlowe. That one was pretty good. It was really cute. It had kind of just like this little cheesy rom-com romance vibe to it that I was kind of looking forward to for February. So I did manage to read that. It was pretty good. I had these lofty plans of finishing City of Bones, book 1 in the Mortal Instruments series by Cassandra Clare. So it is temporarily DNF'd for right now. I don't know if I'll pick it back up, but I haven't like completely given up on it. I just it's been shelved for right now. It's going on the DNF shelf for now. I'm just not in the mood for it. How about that? So I have been really wanting to get back into reading some like witchy books, spiritual based books. I don't really have like a religion or a spirituality that I ascribe to per se, but I've always been like super fascinated by La Santa Muerte. So I have a couple of books about her. The one I've been reading is La Santa Muerte, Unearthing the Magic and Mysticism of Death by Tomás Power. Is it Power? Prower, my bad. So it's a short little book. It's only like, what? It's not even 300 pages. It's not even 250 pages. But I'm really enjoying this one so far. I actually have another book about La Santa Muerte. I just love her. I just love her. Reading that, really enjoying that, finding that very interesting and fascinating. I don't consider myself like a practicing witch or anything along those lines, at least not right now. I have dabbled. I've definitely dabbled. I will probably continue to dabble here and there, but I have a really hard time with commitment to specific paths and spiritual practices and stuff like that. Also, I don't know if I showed you guys, but I did get a new tattoo. I did also read The Witch Slayer by Opal Rain. I love Opal Rain. I love her writing style. I love her characters. I was first introduced to her through the Duskwalker Bride series. That series is like perfection. Chef's kiss as far as like monster romance goes. But I want to say The Witch Slayer actually came before she started that. Who am I? I'm probably completely wrong. But I love Opal Rain's ability to turn a like monster fucker romance book into something that like genuinely makes you feel things. Like it's not just about the sexy spicy time. Like you genuinely start caring for the characters. They go through things that you really like feel feelings about. With The Witch Slayer, I only gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. Just because, like, even though I love Rurik, I hope that's how you say his name, Rurik. Even though I love Rurik, and he's very much like a grouchy, storm cloud, angry boy type of personality, he's so irritating towards the end of the book with how he, like, thinks about his own child and potentially children. Hope that's not a spoiler. Whatever. He has just these very like sexist, toxic masculinity vibes to him, and I get it. It's just part of his personality. It's one of those things that like sometimes it's endearing, but towards the end of the book specifically, I was just so over it. I was so over it, and I was just like, shut the fuck up. Like, just be happy. Chill, bro, chill. Anyway. 3 out of 5 on that one. The Duskwalker Bride series, however, I will never stop recommending that book. I did kind of fall out of reading it. I'm not entirely sure why. I think I fell off at like book 5. But I don't have a reason other than I just got tied up reading a lot of other things. The series itself is beautiful. It's amazing. I will eventually continue on with it. But I feel like her characters in that series are a little bit more well-rounded. Their personalities are so endearing. Anyway, cannot recommend Duskwalker Brides series enough. So if you like monster fuckery, go check it out. Speaking of monster fuckery, it's not really monster fuckery so far. I will let you guys know like what my plans are for the next few days at least. I started reading Bloodlust by A.B. Synth. I would classify this more as like a dark romance rather than monster fuckery, just because our boy Reef is a shark shifter. Shark shifter. You know what I'm saying? And all the little nods to Jaws in this book. We love him. We love him. We love him. We love him. The only thing I'm not loving about this book is the female main character. She's kind of a bitch. She's kind of a bitch. And like, don't get me wrong. Be a bitch, queen. Be a bitch. It's fine. It's totally fine. You do you. Something about her personality is just rubbing me the wrong way. But lots of trigger warnings. Okay, there's a little bit of SA. Non-consensual consent type situations. Serial killer type shit going on. A little bit of gore, not nothing major, but like if you read dark romance on the reg, this won't be that serious to you or anything like that. At least not so far. I'm almost done. I have like 40 something odd pages left to go. It's very short, very sweet and to the point. I like that. I really love Reef. Reef's a cutie. Reef's a sweet sharky boy, and we want more of him. I would have loved like a much larger novel with him and possibly a different female character. But I actually have like, I don't know if I qualify to have like thalassophobia or whatever it's called, where you have this deep fear of the ocean. But I would say that I have it. I am very afraid of the ocean. And there's a couple of scenes in here where the FMC is like just swimming out into the ocean. And I'm just sitting here like, bitch, well, she is crazy, but like, bitch, you're crazy. I'm not getting in the monster soup. I don't care if there's a sexy shark shifter in there for me or not. I'm not getting in the monster soup. I'm not getting it. But I am really enjoying it. Another short little book that I want to try to read over the next week or two is The Doctor's Demons by Maria Abrams. Now, I actually ended up acquiring this little like novella through a book box, and I want to say it was the Abominable book box from the UK. If you ever get the opportunity to subscribe to them, they are amazing. They send you a lot of different treats, trinkets, bookmarks. It is a book club that I really wish I could have stuck with. I would have, if not for just being like flat ass broke all the time. But even if you're on a tighter budget, like if you have the money for it, I would still recommend trying them out because they're really cool. You get like a new book and then a mysterious used book. Sometimes you get 2 new books or a magazine or something like that. They're really amazing and I miss them so much. I can't tell you how much I miss Abominable book. Anyway, I'm gonna try to get to this one. I haven't really been reading much horror this entire year so far, and we're in month 3, and I've only read like 2 horror novels, and they were both short story collections, so I'm just sitting back like, what the fuck, what is this? So yeah, that's pretty much my plans moving forward. We have Vincent, my baby, his birthday is this weekend, so there's gonna be a lot going on, a lot of chaos, a lot of presents for the boy. Other than that, I'm currently on vacation. More like a staycation, but it was much needed before I lost my shit on somebody hardcore. I'm enjoying myself, just chilling and relaxing. I have like 4 more days of vacation before I have to go back to the grind. But I'm really enjoying just being away for a while. It's so nice to not feel like, I don't know if any of you guys go through this or not, but like with the level of stress at my job, which I know we're all stressed, like, but with the level of stress that I feel at work, every single day that I go to work, it was to the point where I felt nothing but this tightness in my chest, in my jaw, in my shoulders and neck. I couldn't make it stop. And like the only time I could ever relax was on the weekend. And because the weekend's only 2 days, I felt like I didn't have enough time to really like de-stress and decompress and all that good stuff. And this was just much needed. Much needed. I feel a lot mentally clearer. I feel like I'm able to focus on positive things in my life more than I was. And I'm hoping to just like keep that momentum going and try to like prioritize my self-care moving forward so that I don't get that angry and upset and like just snap on a trigger. That didn't make sense. Anyway, that's pretty much all I got going on in my life right now. I've had a really good staycation so far. Looking forward to the next 4 days. And then we're going to go back to the way things were. And I realize now that most of my head has been out of the shot this entire time. We don't care. We don't care. We're going to leave it. We don't care. We're going to leave it because that's just who we are. But as of right now, I forgot to tell you guys. I know I mentioned it earlier, but me and my husband have been playing Riftbound, the League of Legends tabletop card game. I have been enjoying it so much. I don't know if any of you guys play Riftbound or any kind of card games, Pokemon, Magic the Gathering, what have you. Let me know if you do in the comment section down below. Let me know what kind of games you guys enjoy playing. I've been enjoying it so much. We're going to wrap up the vlog here, and I will see you guys in the next one. I hope you all are having a wonderful spring.